Welcome everybody back to another Boldcast reaction. I'm Lindsay.
I'm Carson.
And today we'll be watching The Promised Neverland Season 2, Episode 3. What happened last time?
Last time Emma learned to hunt, and then she said she was okay after she killed something when she probably isn't. And I'm worried about how that's going to affect her going forward. And we're moving along, we're traveling, and that's it.
Also, I love that the other kid, the highlight of last episode is that the other kids have started to meme Ray trying to get himself killed.
Yeah.
That was a highlight as well. But before we get into this episode, we'd like to ask you to please support the official release. We're watching on Funimation. That's where you can watch it. And we assume that you already have watched it. And also, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. And with that, let's get into the video. Promised Neverland, Season 2, Episode 3, let's go.
I'm, by the way, completely baffled as to how none of the kids have died. Isn't that insane?
Although, to be fair, if help hadn't shown up, they probably would mostly be dead.
Yeah, that's true. Alrighty.
Fashionable.
And precious. If you didn't try to sacrifice yourself all the time. What? You don't act like it at all. You act like you've met a lot of people.
It's interesting that they never met other humans.
Yeah, they seem like they have.
Yeah, but that just goes to show that the demons probably live very, what we would consider normally. Like the way that they live.
What do you mean?
Like if
they
act
the way they live.
Like if these random demons that they met act completely human, then they learned that from somewhere. And if it wasn't humans, then it was demons.
I've never seen anything so big.
Interesting, the demons don't leave the forest.
That's their weak spot.
That's nice.
An amulet. Oh, I just realized the thumbs.
Just doesn't believe in farming.
Holy shit, Sonju.
You have to wait quite a while, but we don't know how long these things live for.
Holy fuck. Holy fuck. What now?
There's a big rock there. How about investigating it?
Is it a video? No, a map?
Mm.
It's like a blueprint.
Yeah. They couldn't just be out in the open. That wouldn't be any good.
Welcome unlocked.
Open up. Nice. Although that would take a lot of time and skill and materials to make, so I wonder how they did it. It looks pretty abandoned so far, though.
Is this like a motel? What the fuck is... Now the tiles look new. Oh, they're like CRT TVs. It's just been so long. They put all that stuff in place over the last however long, and
Yeah, well,
nobody escaped in time, so they had to leave.
those books that were from Minerva were from 2015, no later than 2015. Nice kitchen.
Yeah, but any food?
Oh. That's kind of cool.
That's pretty nice. It's not very much, like, for all of them. Okay. What is that? I bet it's a tunnel over the border to, like, the human part of the world. Or to the farm. That would be fucky.
That would be very good and very bad at the same time. Hot water. That's pretty impressive. But this entire place is pretty impressive, actually. I don't know how they can possibly made it.
How's it even possible? They're like not even 10? Yeah.
Cries. Even more.
But for how long is it possible?
It's perfect
until somebody finds it. That's the problem. You have to keep it a secret forever.
I guess the other thing is it seems awesome. But like, how many people can it support? With the rest of the kids at the farm, probably all of them, and then all the other farms that they also want to save people from. Nice. Get the exact right time.
Wait. Plant 1. So they can listen in on the plants. Don't fucking say anything.
It's a really good idea.
So you unlock it with the pen.
Someone like dead in there.
What did they...
I don't like these two secret things at once.
It's like crimson.
What's that?
A payphone? Oh
Don't
my
answer it.
god,
Do
this
not
is straight up
answer it.
vault tech.
Don't.
Don't answer the creepy phone.
No. Way too good to be true.
What the fuck does that mean?
I was also wondering, what if, I mean, like, we've already seen, like, oh, if there's humans outside, I'll still eat them. Well, what if William Minerva was just a demon like that, of like, oh, well, I can't afford to get stuff from this place, so I'll just set up my own thing.
Set up
and if they come, then I have my own personal farm.
It's too much.
That'd be, but it's, yeah, it seems
That's
like,
ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
But then how could they have built such a crazy place?
Maybe it was from before. No, it wasn't 1,000 years old. Help indeed.
Yeah, this place seemed kind of sketchy.
That's
like,
why I wasn't getting excited when we
like,
first saw it, because I'm just like...
It's exciting, but it's like, it's too much. If it was like a shithole in the ground with like a few dirt rooms...
It seems like a lie. Like, it seems like... The way, yeah, I don't know what it is about it. Maybe it's the weird way there were those, like, snacks that were moldy to, like, specifically show that there haven't been people here in a while. That people definitely aren't here, like, just like all the little things to like, it just seems too much. And there's like a million secret passageways.
The letter of like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't be there in person, but doesn't give any explanation as to why he's not there in person. Yeah, and then the creepy payphone, specifically a payphone, is like weird because it's not even a phone, it's a payphone. Which I don't...
I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe there is something with the demons. Like, maybe they made that place as a decoy. Because with their resources, it wouldn't necessarily be that difficult.
I don't know if it would be the same demons who own the farm, but maybe, like, a person looking to start their own personal secret farm or some shit. I don't know.
I don't know.
But then you have to remember where the pen came from. It was dropped by a guy.
Exactly.
In the place.
That's what's freaking me out about all this, and it's like, I don't understand, like...
And all the books in there. And who knows if those books were at all the different, like, in all the fields, or was it just in that, was that a special one? Or were there multiple
and then
how did
those books make it in? It just... I mean, maybe it's possible that it's like a freedom fighter who's, like, seeding all this stuff, and then... giving people a way out, but it also seems too good to be true, and it makes me think that like this was all a conspiracy as a failsafe. If things escaped, they would go there but then again, the only way that was possible is if somebody dropped the pen and then somebody found it, then happened to give it to kids like in the farm. Like it just is. There's too many things removed as far as the pen is concerned, and then obviously getting the books into the farm.
Yeah. That's the thing that makes me think it would be more likely someone else's weird plan rather than something that they put in place and they were like distributing these pens all around just in case kids escaped, which they didn't want them to in the first place.
Yeah.
And this pen would have like made them escape if they hadn't been already, you know? So it's weird.
I think it's still likely that William Minerva is a group of people, or probably more likely a group of people, but a person or entity, whatever, who wants to start a revolution or wants the kids to get the fuck out. I think that that's still the most likely thing, but it just the circumstances surrounding it, like if I was a freedom fighter revolution person, how the fuck would I get the information in there when it all relies on this weird pen that it's so coincidental that somebody could get their hands on it. Like, it's weird. It's so weird.
Yeah, and it's weird because then there's like the books, and like I said, how do you make sure that all of those specific books end up in each of those houses, and how do you make sure that like a pen gets in there, but maybe not too many pens? Because if the wrong mom found that, they'd fucking get rid of it, you know?
Yeah.
There's just a lot of variables that had to go right for this scenario, which makes it even worse because if whoever was doing this was doing it with this much of a chance that it would ever anything would ever happen, then it's like that's even more scary because either they genuinely have really good intentions and they somehow pulled this off and anyone they save would be worth it, or they're even more evil than like the people in the farms, and they're going as far as like placing everything they have on this crazy bet, and if it pays off it'll be huge for them, you know?
That seems ridiculous, and
I know it seems ridiculous, but so does the fact that they built this like luxury place.
Yeah, let me finish. It seems ridiculous, which makes me think that the writing is starting to get ridiculous. That's what I'm worried about, because this doesn't have the same like maybe like I don't know. Maybe it's just me being poisoned by the fact that everyone says the show goes downhill after, or like the series goes downhill after the escape arc. But it's making me wonder, like, where is this heading? Because we knew where it was heading before. Now we don't know, and it's partly due to the fact that they don't know where the fuck they're going. They're just trying to find a safe place, and they think they found it, but it's weird. But it makes me, I just don't know, like, if this doesn't work out, then what the fuck are we gonna do? And it doesn't seem like they are planning for that, other than like going and finding more about William Minerva. It just seems like they're banking a whole lot on William Minerva, and not thinking of like, how are we gonna survive?
Yeah, because what if there had genuinely been nothing there?
Yeah.
What would you do?
Yeah. And it just seems like that's not something that Ray would like, or Emma, or Norman. They wouldn't put all their eggs in that basket. So I'm wondering if they have another plan, and if they don't, then I would question the writing going forward. Because they that's been their thing, is they've always had like that's their entire thing, is that they're super fucking smart, and they have their strategists
on top of plans and a million other plans.
Exactly. So if they were banking everything on this, it doesn't make sense with like how they've acted in the past.
Yeah, even though they wouldn't have any idea about the environment on the other side, you going into an unknown place would make it even more important that you would be prepared for anything and think, okay, if we go there and we find other humans, this is what we do. If we go there and we find like abandoned hideout, this is what we do. And if we go there and we find absolutely nothing, we're not going to find nothing. We're finding William Minerva. And to their credit, this is the best bet that they have, so I don't fault them for following it. That's not the thing. It's that they don't seem to have a backup strategy. It seems like their only strategy, their only hope is William Minerva, which is fair because they're children. But it's just not like them to not be thinking of, what if this doesn't work out? What if this is a lie? What if this is a trap? What if this is I guess
danger?
The other thing is to be fair, Ray was never thinking he'd make it out of there, so obviously he wasn't thinking about that. That's a really fair point. And Emma was thinking about just making sure no one died on the way out.
Yeah.
And they also got sort of lulled into a false sense of security because they were taken care of for 6 days. by these really nice demons, and that kind of...
I guess it's just we haven't heard them sit around and strategize. That was a big thing in season 1.
I guess that's what I'm saying with this, like, they were kind of being taken care of and getting used to it and learning so many new things that it was kind of amazing.
Even when they were safe in season 1, there were many scenes. There was at least 1 or 2 scenes an episode of them standing around. Okay, what's the plan? What are we doing? Where are we going from here? How do we take this information further? What are the other implications of this thing that we learned? We haven't really got any of that, it feels like. Mm-hmm. And I get the whole purpose of those conversations was because they were like being watched all the time, or they needed to like keep it secret from everyone else and like be off on their own. So they found these ways to talk to each other, but we haven't. And I guess we kind of have gotten there. Like, oh, what do we think? Like, I don't know what it is, but it feels like. And maybe I'm going too far down this. I don't feel that strongly about this. I'm just talking about it generally. I'm just trying to figure out why, why this seems kind of weird that this vault is like such a surprising thing, because it seems so obvious. It seems so obviously like a crazy vault. Like it seems like a vault tech vault. It seems like a trap. It seemed like a trap from the moment that we like showed up, and with each thing that we found, it seems like more of a trap. And when they find a secret passageway, they're not like let's sit down, talk about, and there wasn't enough time in the episode, that's another thing, but they aren't like, okay, we have 7 secret passageways, we have a radio that can listen in on the frequencies of the plants. Like, what does this all mean? Like, I don't know. I want another one of those conversations, and I hope that they like think more strategically about like what they're doing. That's what I want.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. But at the same time, they've just come into a place, and most of them are, like, I mean, like, they're all kids. So they come into this place that's, like, heaven. Like, better than they could have ever anticipated.
Yeah.
And, like, so they've already been sort of, like, lulled by these demons who have taken care of them and protected them.
But it hasn't been that long. It's not like they're attached. That's not that long. That's
not that long. But then they come out and then they're in this wasteland and they're like, "Holy shit, are we really?"
They aren't like holy shit. They're like going towards a specific destination that they are like sure is going to be their savior. They I don't like they got really attached to them, but they don't like. Even they know they have to move on. Even the ones that wanted to stay know that they have to move on. They're the little kids are scared. Of course they're scared. They're little kids. I'm talking about Emma and Ray, who have like been planning this since the beginning, and who have been like thinking. I mean, obviously Ray wasn't thinking, like you said, thinking about leaving. I don't know. And again, I don't feel that strongly about it. That's just my 2 cents about it.
Yeah. So I'd be interested to see, like, how do we go from here, and how there's obviously something deeply wrong with this place, whatever it is, all the like helps on the wall and little tallies of, I guess, maybe how many days they've been stuck in there. Mm-hmm. And this weird payphone that's freaking me out because
why
it's
is there a payphone? Why a payphone?
That's what I'm saying. If it was just a phone, well, go right ahead. That's totally fine. But the fact that it's a payphone is like, it's a very specific type of phone.
Yeah.
You know? And
you don't usually find them in like a residence.
No.
You usually find them on the street.
And it's like a full-on pay. And I don't know if these demons have payphones or where you would have gotten a payphone, or because the radio seemed like something that they would have had. Like, it was reminiscent of Mom's setup, and like but we obviously know that they have way more advanced technology as well. But then they still choose a payphone. So I just feel like there must be a reason for the payphone.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I feel like also my like, why aren't they thinking of this? Why aren't they thinking of that? It is impatience, I'm realizing. Like we were barbinging it, and then getting one thing after another.
We're only on episode
3.
It
is only episode 3, so that's fair too. Maybe my criticisms aren't quite so valid, but we'll see. Mm-hmm. But yeah. What the fuck is up with why the payphone? The help shit. What could that mean?
The secret areas.
Yeah.
It's just. The secret
really weird.
areas that are really easy to find.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it's not just...
They pressed one key on the piano, and it, like, the
N key, which is a key that you would probably press if you were, like, you know, if you were... didn't know how to play the piano, you weren't playing a particular song, you might just go up and tap the one on the end or do, like, the sweep.
Yeah.
You know, and it just seemed like it was... and then, like, the super obvious door.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It just seems it seems super obvious. Everything about it seems obviously
evil. Which is because he knew that the people who went there would be children, but at the same time, it's kind of like unsettling because it's this super obvious door down these stairs to a payphone.
Yeah.
Is weird.
It seems like somebody designed it to be like a haunted house or something. Like, or an escape room. Like, it seems like an escape room or a haunted house where, like, it's designed to, like, instill that emotion in you. And it just seems weird. That part to me seems weird because it's so obviously a fucking crazy, not good place.
Yeah, because
even before you see the house
if he had just wanted a phone, like, there's no reason for it to be downstairs in a creepy
at the end
place.
of a crazy corridor with, like, red lighting. It's like,
yeah.
It's a little over the top, I think.
But it's just weird because obviously whoever built this designed it that way for some reason, just like they for some reason used a payphone.
Yeah.
You know?
Why? Like, what could this mean? It seems likely that it's like a trap from the farm people, but again, it's like when you think about the logic of it, I don't see how it works. Maybe there must be something I missed. I hope there's something I missed.
And then it's weird of like if it was to get the kids back to the farm, that also just wouldn't make any sense because like you wouldn't want to creep them out or make them afraid in their new place where they can get settled in, and then you could like knock them all out with some kind of gas and just collect them back up, you know?
I don't know.
And then there's that weird, there's just like a bunch of really weird stuff in there. But it's a very well engineered and designed, very specifically place, which is interesting. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's also interesting of like how they could have possibly gotten the materials for that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And then hidden it underground. Because to build something like that, they would have probably had to excavate the entire area, build it, and then cover it up. Because it's so expansive to somehow be able to build that with just like the one hole in the surface, you would be like bringing up like one bucket full of dirt at a time for hundreds of years. You know, it's just interesting.
Yeah, when was that scary. Put there and by who? Maybe this is like on the border of the human world, and I don't know, like it's.
But then why make it so creepy?
Maybe I don't know, because if it seems like the only way I could see like it being from the humans is if it was like a forward operating base of some kind, or like some kind of thing where they're trying to free the humans that are in captivity, by the demons, so they're trying to like they establish that place, one as a safe haven, two as like a check-in spots where we can recon, listen in on the radio frequencies, and like try and figure out what they're doing, you know, like, and send little things out, send little probes. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird, and it's interesting that no types of demons live in the wasteland.
That's what makes me think that it's the border between the human world, because past that point, no demons actually live there.
Yeah,
it doesn't. Clearly, they could survive. Like they don't need a whole lot to survive. They need the same thing that a human does: food and water, and shelter. So like of course, there's no shelter out there except for this literal shelter. But like,
there's yeah.
It's not like they couldn't. It's not like being out there would be poison to them, is what I'm saying. I don't know. So yeah, I still think it's human. I just don't know what the fuck the point, like all these crazy, super creepy, obviously horror story designs are about. It literally seems like a Vault-Tec experiment. Was this like literally a Vault-Tec experiment? and these people, we're just gonna find a box of puppets down there or a bunch of guns.
Yeah, and the other thing though is, if this was some kind of like, why is all that help and shit there? Like the stuff on the wall. Like if someone was monitoring this or like paying attention at all or doing anything.
They went insane, clearly.
I know, but like where, if they were in there, is there a body somewhere in there or...
Yeah, that's, again, like, it doesn't fully add up. Like, it's not...
If a person just, like, got trapped in there and went crazy, there would be a dead body. And if there wasn't a dead body, then someone would have had to come in and take the dead... Like, if someone
Did somebody go insane, write help on the walls, and then get help? Is that what happened? They got help, or somebody came in and killed them and, like, took them out?
But then if they were going to do that, then you would... paint the wall.
Wipe away the shit that, like, is so ominous.
Unless you wanted them to see that... Like, unless it was, like, maybe that's fake, and they, like, wrote that on the wall purposely for some weird experiment. I don't know.
Or, this goes back to our Maze Runner theory, where this is everything is part of another test.
Yeah.
Like,
this is, like, the next level.
I'm starting to not believe that because of all the religious stuff, and, like, they're going too deep into, like, the ideology of Sonju and Majika, where they're, like... They have their own beliefs, and we got to see them apart from the kids. Like, we got moments alone with them where the kids were not there. They don't know what's going. So that makes me think that they're not, whatever it is, they're not a part of it. And if they're not a part of it, are we in like a big simulation type thing? It makes me think that we're not. Where like that scene makes me think that we're not. But it's like, it's just so, it doesn't. That's the weird shit. It doesn't fully add up, and I can't tell if it's genius or if it's a misstep on the writing where, like...
You're trying to get back to the mystery.
Get back to the mystery.
But
make me think, like, what is this crazy payphone and help. And, trying to trap them in another, like, too good to be true situation. Is that it?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm afraid of. It can go either way, and it's so weird, I can't quite tell. But I'm leaning towards, there's some weird, like... liberties being taken for the sake of, like, instilling emotion in the audience. That's my thing.
It's also interesting to hear more about the religion of that. It has nothing to do with the fact they're human, just has to do with the fact that they're factory farmed.
Exactly, yeah, they don't believe in that.
Which is interesting, but she doesn't seem to be on the same page.
No, I think that she might be, but meeting them changed her mind.
That's what I'm saying. It's sort of that thing where she just because she got along with them, or maybe she's young, we don't know the ages of them, maybe she is also young, she is quite small, she's the smallest
that we've seen
by far that we've seen, and she seems to have different coloring than what we've seen, and is the first girl demon that we've seen as well, so those are all variables, but
they both look more natural though, so like I think that's a part of their lifestyles that they haven't been like transformed.
But it's hard to say, because we still don't know what about demons makes them look the way they do. Yeah. So it's interesting that she was swayed, and then he the whole time had just been thinking like, yeah, well, I mean, we're just setting them up to eat them later. But they don't seem to, like, she seems a bit put off by him, but he doesn't seem to be concerned of the fact that she actually cares about them. Yeah. But also, it gives indication of how long these creatures live, because if he's counting on the fact that one day all these, like, 10-year-old kids are going to breed to a population the size that they can freely hunt them however they want. Yeah, that means that they probably live a long time. That's, like, hundreds of years in the future. That's why the thousands of... It's been 1,000 years since the pact was made. It's probably, like, 2 generations, maybe. Yeah, like or even... who knows? Maybe they can live forever. Maybe. If under the right circumstances, who knows? They look more healthy. Like they like to me. They look because like the other ones seemed like steroided, roided out, fucking weird proportions. These like they seem more human, which I think is meant to signal that they're like living a more healthy lifestyle. And honestly, when we saw Sonju like his teeth and everything, I was like kind of like that's kind of fucked up. Like wow, dude. But there's also a part of me, and I've settled into this, that, like, I'm fine with it. Obviously, I'm not fine with humans getting eaten, but, like, they're a different species, and it's kind of what goes around comes around. I don't blame him for wanting to eat humans.
I feel like that's fair enough. Like like he freed them. He's giving them ample opportunity to live their lives.
And he's not necessarily planning on eating those specific people
but
either.
he's doing it for his own gain, and I can understand that, and I respect it, because he's not like, he is in the end doing the right thing, because his views are just like, it has to be natural. It has to be natural, and
he has
they
to
depicted
hunt
him
rather than
they
have
depicted
it
him
served to
super
him.
creepy as shit. But I don't think that's like, I don't think that it doesn't line up with that, because what he's actually doing isn't that creepy. It's creepy from our perspective, because I wouldn't want to get eaten by Sonju, but like, it's kind of them's the breaks, sort of. Like, it's kind of just what happens if you're living a natural lifestyle, if you're out in the wilderness.
It's the same as if well, it's not quite the same, because humans and demons can communicate on a different level than like us as humans can with any type of animal. Like, they can actually have a conversation, rather than just an emotional connection and bond without like words, which is like, obviously, like, if you have a pet, then you love them unconditionally and they love you, and you love each other and you talk to them, but you can't have an intellectual conversation with them the same way that they can with them. So that's where it is a bit different. But him saying, oh, I'm not going to eat them like that, but if they're wild and I happen to catch one, well, then that's just the way it is similar to someone being like, oh, I don't support factory farming, but if I hunt and kill a deer in a humane and quick way where they've had a good life previous to that, well, all right then. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. It is kind of weird because of that level of how similar they are.
Yeah. But they're not the same.
Yeah, they're not the same.
That's the thing, is they're not the same.
But I don't like I don't know. It's like, how different are they really?
Yeah.
You know?
I wonder if they can survive. Like, we've had this question of like whether they need humans to live, and they don't, obviously.
They don't.
But do they need the same other types of, like, do they need a similar amount of like protein and fat content in their diet?
To eat 5 million squirrels a day? But it didn't seem like it,
or do they eat like sulfur? Like, do they eat like weird shit that we don't eat? You know, like do they eat like, you know, like, I don't know, like how similar are we? Is it just that they're humans with 2 thumbs on each hand and weirdly toned skin? Is that it? Then they're basically humans, but it's
because the way they like I was saying earlier, the way that they seem to behave is very human-like. You know, like they seem to, they live nicely in this cave, and they have little lights around, and they, you know, they get their water and their food, and they live a generally peaceful lifestyle.
What I find more interesting,
and they have
is their
manners.
Clothes. What I find more interesting is their sense of fashion. That's what always strikes me in like aliens or demons or whatever, is when they like dress themselves like a human. Where they like are like, they do like, Majika does her hair and like has this robe and like ties a nice bow.
Well,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. There's obviously some kind of culture there, and even though these people are like outside of society, it seems like they must have gotten that from somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's ingrained, and it must be ingrained enough in wherever they came from that was worthwhile to continue doing. Mm-hmm. You know, even if most people were to, you know, go off and do something else, you know, you might still want to do things that reminded you, or like things that you thought were practical, such as, or even things that are maybe even impractical, such as wearing clothes. Mm-hmm. You know, like the other demons that we've seen haven't been wearing any type of clothes.
Yeah.
So obviously they maybe don't need it to be the correct temperature or be comfortable, but they do anyway. So that would be, you know, there's a reason for that.
There's still a lot that we don't know, and it makes, like, why didn't they ask? Why didn't they get all the information?
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, I would be asking more about their life.
6 days, and maybe they did, but we just don't know, which is even weirder. Yeah.
Like, you learn about survival, but wouldn't you also want to know?
Hey,
and they didn't
tell
really
me about
ask
our
about
enemies.
like she was asking about the family, and Emma was pointing it out. But that's different from like, what was your life like? You know? And I don't know. It is kind of weird. But maybe you also wouldn't want, if people are being nice to you, you maybe wouldn't want to pry at the same time.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.